Okay, Kamsi, Grace, you want to ask something?
Yes, thank you. I was wondering if there's going to be a problem with the score plenary, but I guess it's later on in the agenda, right? Okay, yeah, thanks.
So we can prepare the votes in advance, and all the votes are prepared. It's just that we'll coordinate with Scory that when we are ready to have a vote, they stop with their vote and make a short break so that we can vote, do that quickly, and then proceed. They can continue after, and we can move to presidents.
The roll call has been recorded.
Okay, Roxanne, you got the point of information?
Yes, point of information, like IIIb, just for this Coric plenary, it starts at 14:30 GMT, so we cannot be not at the same time. So if we're quick enough, there will be no problem. So if this plenary takes less than 1 hour, we will not be using the same number of votes. So it's also, please take this into consideration for the motion to be tabled.
Okay, perfect. How many animals we got recorded, Omar?
Well, we have 57 with voting rights, and in total,
That's fine. 57 of 100. So we have the quorum, and we can proceed. Okay, so the agenda for today. Do you have slides, Omar? If not, it's okay.
yes, no, I do. Just give me a second.
Okay. So yesterday we changed this to be a plenary session today, 3.3b, and we only have the point of the agenda of LRA ad interim call. We have two motions. I shared them previously with all of you. Just going to check them as well again so that we can read. Okay, so one is regarding the way forward with the current vacant position, and the other one would be to agree on the timeline in case the first vote passes. Before we go into any of the votes, we're going to have a debate on this topic, and this is going to be moderated throughout the through the plenary. So I'm going to be the moderator of this, and the same as in presidents, you have 75 seconds max for all of your interventions. Hope that's clear. So first, I think EB, you should set the tone and start the debate with the problem and what is your proposal, and then we can take NMOs.
Okay. Dear NMOs, thanks for working with us to have this additional plenary session happen. Yesterday, unfortunately, we received the official notice of Ms. Eva Blanquite resigned from her position as LRA during the plenary session. The EB had to have an urgent meeting during the plenary itself and with the CCC to evaluate all the possible options we have. We were clear, however, from the moment we received the email that we need an LRA in the TO. This is neither the first time we have an LO resigned, nor the first time we noticed that the former LRA had some challenges with working in office. The EB has tried every power to promote safe space, yet when it was no longer effective, we evaluated the situation and the working condition of this EB. In the end of 2020, when the former LOSO resigned, we decided to open the election in this GA because we know we, as the EB, are not capable of dealing with any more work added. Now this EB overloading situation remains and perhaps will be worsened with the possible coming new mandates and tasks after this GA. As you notice, the overall mental health of the EB and the TO is vulnerable. We need your help. Having a new LRA appointed or elected will not just ensure that a specific person will be in charge of the external work on sexual and reproductive health and rights issues, it will also improve the team dynamics and ensure that the work will not be compromised in SCORA, liaison officer group, EB, and the whole TO. Dear animals, an official position is created because it is needed. We need an LRA in our team so that our perspectives, voices, and capacity buildings on sexual and reproductive health and rights issues will be delivered properly to the WHA, to the UNGA, to our animals, and to any possible platform. Dear animals, we have received tremendous support from you in this GA and in the past few months, and we need you to support us again on this matter, just like what animals have done in the past many terms whenever there was a TO vacancy. We do hope that this statement has expressed properly our utmost need of a full team for our second half of the term. However, please feel free to let us know your opinions. We're open for discussion. But still, we really look forward to have a full team and an LRA elected appointed as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, EB. We will be recording this as a statement, so just share it with us as well. So, NMOs now have the floor. So first up for discussion is in general the way forward for LRA, and after we will further discuss the timeline. So that's my proposed process for this current situation, because you need to make two decisions. One is that you want to open the call right now. As explained yesterday, the EB cannot do that on their own during the March meeting. And the second thing is that you agree on the timeline. So anyone wants to speak? Okay, we got IIIb Poland.
Hi, IIIb Poland. I have a question. I'm not sure if it will be more to the EB, maybe to the CCC. When it comes to the candidates for LRA position, as it is kind of urgent, when it comes to people currently in the task forces or IT, would they have to quickly, urgently resign before applying for the position? Or is this how this would work in case we decided today that there will be an election? Thank you.
Okay, CCC, if you want, I can also reply to this. Okay, CCC has an answer ready. Go.
No, we need time.
Okay. So this is not the first time we had a similar situation. We had one in March meeting 19 with LRA resignation before the GA. And there was a call open, IET members applied, and they were deemed valid up to the point of accepting. Like, so you do the elections, you elect someone, then that person, before they say they accept the position, they need to resign from the previous position, and then they accept. At least that's how it was done in March meeting 19, and that's how I assume, because all loads of candidates are valid, and I think some of them have these positions. That's what the process that I would have taken, but CCC can also clarify for all of us if this would be the correct procedure as well. In some, there would be no restrictions in general, or preferably not. They would just need to resign before taking over the next one. But yeah, while CCC thinks on this, do we have any other questions? Any thoughts you want to share on this? This is a debate technically during the plenary, as if we were in the president sessions. Okay, let's go on.
I just had a question for like the TO and EB in general. Since already we had the LOSA resigning and now the LRA resigning, do you think that this problem is due to the online platform and the COVID-19 situation and so on? And how can you tackle it from now till the end of the term to solve these issues and burnouts?
I think I can answer this also on behalf of the EB and the TO. The reason of TO being demotivated, there are various reasons. And for liaison officers, of course, it is kind of related that there is rotation to the position and their work or their task is very different when they were applying and when the COVID situation persisted longer than any of us expected. But I think it is not fair to only boil down that this tough decision simply because of the COVID situation. We understand that there were also personal consideration, family issues, and also how their personal expectation on themselves and what they want to achieve in this position. When I think it's no longer possible, the resignation, when we notice and we try to prevent, we still will respect their final decision with it.
Okay. Do we have anyone else that wants to speak? LWHO?
Hi, this is Iris speaking, LWHO. What I would also like to mention is that, I don't know much about the personal situations of other people. I'm not going to speak on that. I can speak on my own situation from my own perspective. And I would say that, I hope it doesn't reflect negatively on the rest of the TO, as we are all experiencing different situations and are in different settings. And I would also like to express my great gratitude for the VPE in her continuous support of all the liaison officers in this. And I'm confident in the way that we go forward. Thank you so much.
And can I also add a comment shortly on that? I think I missed the second part of the question, that how we will deal with it. We understand that it is definitely very hard for any TO, especially as an officer, to work online. And whoever proceed with this position will have to go through that process again. But we are fortunate that at least we have 4 liaison officers, four, and 1 VPE still in office. They know how to proceed with that faster, and because there are some important external events, so it's more task and event-oriented preparation for the rest of the term. We believe that it will be more clear when the candidates, when they're planning for their candidature for this position, and when they are planning their annual working plans and their personal expectation for this position and for the next 6 or 7 months, it would be more realistic. So that's a very important way to prevent personal burnout. But of course, VP and I and the EB members will definitely have to closely follow up with the personal situation whenever there's a need.
Okay, thank you, Bochin. CCC?
Okay, so regarding the question from IFMSA Poland, IFMSA officials cannot have 2 positions at the same time. So basically, they can apply without resigning from the task force, IT, whatever. But before accepting the position, they should decide between the 2. So basically, if someone is an IT member and was selected as LRA, this person should resign from that IT position before accepting the position as LRA. However, this is our interpretation currently during the GA. But since this decision is going to be made outside the GA, then it's not in our mandate. It's either for the subcore or the AB to have that interpretation from the bylaws.
Okay. Well, we're going to follow the set process for LOSO at the very least, as you just clarified. And I assume that this will be followed for the other part, because in the other case, it will be a violation of the bylaws according to the current CCC's interpretation. VPA?
Yes, IFMCVP, this is just to confirm that the EB has the same interpretation as the CCC. So we would like to have the same way forward if case an applicant is already part of the ITPC team or task force, so to make them resign just if they are accepted. So we will not have a lot of resignation to be expected, hopefully just one if someone is in an IT or a team before.
Okay, do we have any further questions on the topic of whether or not LRA call needs to be opened right now during the GA, rather than wait until the March meeting ends? Okay. AMSA Austria?
AMSA Austria, Lucy, thank you very much. We would just like some clarification on what the difference would be between the appointment and the election, and how this would be possible within this GA.
Okay, so that's where we're talking about the timeline. According to what is submitted right now, you would not be electing the interim official, and basically the EB would appoint. So it is EB's decision either to redistribute the tasks themselves, and then they have to open anyways the call in the next General Assembly for LRA, or they can open a call for ad interim, appoint someone to do these tasks, as it is also in their a capability to delegate any task that they have to anyone. So they will be appointing an ad interim. This person would fulfill the duties until the next elections, and they will need to open the call. I believe they will need to open the call again for LRA in August meeting. Any case, because that's when you would be electing this person. So the person appointed by the EB is ad interim, and it's given the chance to perform the duties by them. But then you as NMOs would have the opportunity to either elect that person again or someone else should they choose to apply for the final month and a half of the term. Yep. But in any case, this person would need to apply again for the other elections, as it is done for all other interims. Okay, any other questions on this? Okay, in that case, I will assume that the EB explained to you sufficiently regarding the reasoning they're proposing this general process to have LRA call opened now, that you understand the reasons, and we're going to proceed to the second motion that they have, which is about the timeline. So can you show the slide? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're not dealing with the motions right now. We're just still in the debate process. So they are proposing, as stated here in the motion, that there is a call open for ad interim on the 7th of March. So basically today, right after, I suppose, they will be opening the call. The call would be closed on the 13th of March. This is still during the General Assembly. On the 14th, they will be sharing the candidatures with you. Until the 20th, you will be able to give them inputs. And on the 21st, they will be making the decision, taking that input into consideration as stated here. Okay, so EB, would you like to explain first the timeline and why you're proposing this process, and then we can hear questions.
IFMSA VPA. Dear NMOs, we would like to outline the reasoning behind needing a position in office as soon as possible. There are several key moments coming up that we definitely need LRA in the team, including generation equality forums in the end of March and June, which could be potential opportunities for members to be engaged in, as well as the youth pre-WHA, where LWHO will need the constant support of all the liaison officers and where LOs will be leading advocacy working group work. Moreover, we would believe it would be beneficial for LRA to join the CSW should there be any networking opportunities with our current external partners, to introduce them through an event and to observe it as an official, CSW being the key event for SRHR of the year. As for the other United Nations Commission on Population and Development, the registration deadline in the UN Indico system closes on 5th April. Hence, in order for LRA to attend, they would need to be selected beforehand. VPE, who was elected in the middle of a term as LRA 2 years ago, has gone through similar experience and can testify the CSW attendance would be a major boost for the new LRA for the rest of the term for both internal and external engagements. We understand that the current timeline we established could be exceptionally hard from any past TO elections. However, this is an unprecedented situation that an official resigns in the middle of a GA meeting, a long GA meeting that we cannot proceed quickly as per bylaws. We will not reiterate how many urgent things are coming up to IFMSA every day. Yet we want to point out to you that every single day later, the new LRA will be elected. One more day they are behind the working schedule, and this jeopardizes greatly the mental health of the officials, especially for a new official that will have to adopt to an existing TO, getting used to the working mechanism and have the handover, and be the professional external representative of IFMSA within less than 1 month, all at a time. We would also like to point out that every day that we do not have an official in office due to vacancy, the burden to keep up with it and not lose opportunities for IFMSA falls on the shoulders of the executive board. Dear NMOs, if you agree with us that an LRA is needed, we shall also believe that this LRA shall be treated fairly and have their own chance to shine properly, as every official deserves. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, IFMSA VP. Also share your statement as well. So they presented the reasons why they want to have this sort of timeline now, but are there any questions, suggestions, concerns, anything regarding it? regarding the motion that is on the screen. Okay, Anna Portugal.
So I'm in Portugal. So my question is related to what I sent you to the EB email a couple hours ago. And I completely understand that you want to have an LRA position as soon as possible. But I was wondering if it would be okay for you to just change the timelines that the call is open, with keeping the last date, which is the 21st of March, with appointing someone, but giving more days to candidates to apply. This is because I believe that for NMOs to give a credential form to people, it's a really great responsibility and has a great process, a rigorous process behind it. At least in INM, we usually take 5 days. So we think that only 6 days for the call to be open, it's quite impossible from someone from my NMO apply for this position. And therefore, I wanted to ask you if it would be okay for you to switch the dates. So closing the call on March 15 and sharing the candidatures with NMOs on March 16 and keep all the other dates. Thank you.
Okay, first we're going to have a direct from VP.
Hi, from the CVPA. Thank you, Anna. We've seen your proposal and the AB, we agreed. We are in agreement with this amendment because we really are okay with amendments and to have NMOs input on the matter. However, we would just like to see if it's all NMOs that are agreeing with this, because that also means that NMO will have less time to give us input on the candidatures. But if it's what NMO wants, the EB is in agreement with this, but we might refuse the amendment just to see if that's what NMO wants. Am I clear?
Okay, so to be clear, for the amendment, it will be that the call is open on the March 7th and the call is closed on March 16th, you said, right? Or when did you say?
Yeah,
okay.
I wrote in the chat.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a copy. Okay, first amendment proposal. Just one moment, please. So 15th and 16th, like this. So these are the things that are changing. Okay, are there any further thoughts on this? So let's go on. If you're not having a direct on this particular topic, I'm gonna wait with hearing you talk. But if you have on this, you can speak. Okay, so does anyone have further thoughts on what Anem shared right now and proposed to prolong the call itself, but shorten the time you have for input? Okay, I'm going to assume that you're all satisfied with this in that case. Let's go on. Did you have something else you want to say?
Yes, Shahab Mitzvah Aman. Just about the timeline, by the time the LR is selected, there are 2 external meetings that have passed. Who will be taking over these meetings and taking over the job task of the LR?
Okay, so the question is, who is taking over the tasks of LRA right now? VP?
Agla IFMS the executive board has discussed the most urgent task is the Commission on the Status of Women happening from the next week. We have appointed liaison officer for, we have appointed the LRP and also one of the members of the already selected delegation to co-head this delegation with the support of VP as per the most urgent tasks. It has already started the process.
Okay. Do we have any further questions, comments, concerns regarding any of these things? Okay, so the EB is saying that they will be accepting the amendment from ANEM. As there is nobody raising any concerns about it, we will not be having a vote on it. So if they incorporate the amendment, it will be the motion itself. So if they accept, it will be incorporated. Okay, so if you do not want to speak anymore on this matter, we will just proceed to votes and then proceed with presidents. This is your final opportunity to speak on this before we proceed. So anything you want to ask, add? No. Okay, so in that case, we are just going to proceed. Anam, you know what to do with the amendment. And okay, then please log into Nemo Vote as we're proceeding with the motions themselves. So the agenda item is LRA ad interim call taking place in the IFMSC 70 General Assembly March 2021, and motion 57 to have a decision on the way forward for the vacant liaison officer for sexual and reproductive health and rights issues, including HIV and AIDS position, as follows. In favor of redistribution of tasks, in favor of having a special elections for the vacant liaison officer for sexual, etc., LRA, and abstain. This is proposed by the EB, and when you are voting, you'll be voting for the specific three things that they mentioned. I have a question. Does this need to also include against? Like, they are proposing three options, but we should also in our vote have against, right? As a complete.
Point of information from BPA?
Yes.
Yes, there is no against all, because in the bylaw it says that the executive board must do a decision. So something has to be decided. We cannot decide on doing nothing. So they're still abstain in case like there's no preference, but we cannot be actively against anything. Like the GA or EB, when it's outside of the GA, needs to do a decision. And that was
okay. So in this case, the GA will not be able to say no to any of these options, and you will only have these three options. I hope that the options are clear. So this is proposed by the IFMSA EB. Would you like to further explain?
IFMC VPA would just like to reiterate that the EB is in favor of option number 2 to have a special election for the vacant position. This will mean that we'll be able to open an ad interim call. Thank you.
Okay, CCC?
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that there should no against in these options, because they have to decide either to abstain or have a special elections or distribution of tasks, which EB already explained. Thank you.
Okay, and to further clarify before we proceed, the next motion will not be happening in case there is no relative or simple majority, I'm not sure, for the second option, which is in favor of having a special election part. So, do we have seconders? Or 8 seconders? I'm gonna go with IFMSC Spain.
Pablo from IFMSC Spain, I second this motion.
Thank you. Do we have any amendments to this motion? I see 2 hands raised from IFMSC Peru and System Italy. Are these amendments, or is this from the past? Okay, there are no amendments. Do we have a wait? Okay. Do we have a direct negative in case someone wants to vote? Otherwise, I will need to interpret what all of this means. Do we have a direct negative? Okay, MCC Denmark.
We would like to see the vote.
Okay, thank you. So Blanca, we have the vote prepared, and I hope everyone's on the vote.
Yeah, let me check, because the score already started to draft votes. Okay, and as Nevosha said already, you will have the 3 options stated in the presentation to vote upon. Okay, so the vote is open now. Let's see. We have 26 NMOs that have already voted out of 102, 35.
Yeah, it seems NemoVote is having some issues because I'm also unable to log in. It's like,
I
okay,
suspect that it's because of Scori creating votes at the same time, because right now we are actively working in the same platform to people.
no,
like
but it's in general slow. It's not about that.
Okay. We have 48 NMOs that have already voted now.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time to load, but it should load.
Perhaps refresh.
Yeah, and I get a message. I mean, unable to connect to NemoVote. Please check your network connection. So we have 63 votes. Is there anyone else having technical issues right now?
I think that AMSA Austria, no, you have not been able to vote yet. But ANEM did, right? No, AMSA Austria already voted. Great.
Yeah, Scori did not start yet, so we're not having issues because of Scori, and there should not be multiple people logged in at the moment. So we have 66 votes. Is there anyone else having technical issues right now? Please write in chat if you're having problem accessing NemoVote and voting. Raise your hand and speak any of those two. Okay.
No.
Then, okay, then we can wait for another 10 seconds and see if anyone states they have issues. If not, we are gonna proceed.
Great. We have 67 NMOs that have already voted.
And you can close the vote. We have 67. It is more than enough for quorum as well. So.
Okay, and the results are the following. We have 10 votes in favor of the distribution of tasks, 55 votes in favor of having special elections for the vacant of LRA position, and then 3 votes in abstention.
This passes, but I'm not entirely sure if it's simple majority or relative majority. For the sake of minutes, we will review it, but it passes either way. As the second option in favor of having a special elections for vacant days in officer position, I think it's relative majority. And as it was like this. Okay. So we're now proceeding to the next motion.
I think CCC wants to say something.
CCC?
Yes, this is Ezgi from CCC. As there is no specification which majority this motion needs in the bylaws, then it has to pass by simple majority.
Okay, we're gonna go by simple. Although these unorthodox cases with no against are a little bit trickier. So moving on, motion 58. So to open and add interim call for the liaison officer position according to the following timeline. March 7, 21, opening the call, March 13, 21, closing the call, March 14, 21, sharing the candidatures, March 20, deadlines for NMOs, to give input March 21st EB decision-taking NMO's input into consideration. This is still not the amended version that we were discussing. This is the original submission of the motion. This is proposed by the EB. Would you like to further explain?
IFM-CVPA, no, we already clarified this part.
Okay, do we have a seconder for this? Okay, I'm gonna go with Jamsa Jamaica.
Jamsa Jamaica like to second this motion.
Thank you. Do we have amendments? And in Portugal?
And in Portugal, we have an amendment, and it's the following, that it's projected right now. So the closing the call on the 15th of March and sharing the candidatures with the NMOs on the 16th of March.
Okay. Perfect. So this is the amendment, but the dates are changed, nothing else. Okay, does the proposer accept the amendment?
IFM-CVPA, on the behalf of the EB, we accept the amendment.
Does the seconder accept the amendment?
Yes, we accept the amendment.
Thank you. Then the amendment is incorporated. Do we have any further amendments? No. Do we have a direct negative for this? IFMC Peru?
Rodrigo from IFMC Peru. We would
you
like to vote this motion.
Okay, then Blanca, you can start to vote. Do you have an alternative motion? Or anyone?
No, we.
Okay. And so Blanca, you can start to vote.
Yep, give me 1 second. Okay. So you have the vote already open. It's working slow for me right now as well, so let's hope we don't have further issues. Okay, we have 23 NMOs that have already voted out of 102. Now we have 33. 40. 53.
People, we had 67 votes previously, so are you facing some technical issues? You didn't receive.
Is it the vote Yumsa Ukraine? Let me check.
You are on the list.
Yeah.
So we try refreshing as well.
Mm-hmm. We have 59 NMOs, 60, sorry, that have already voted.
Okay, Amin is advising you to try another browser or go incognito.
We have 65, yeah. $66.
Okay, Mr. Ukraine, were you fine in the previous vote? And well, are you okay with us proceeding? Or do you want us to fix the technical issue? That's on you.
67.
Okay, so again, is it working?
Actually,
We-
no, we didn't receive any vote even on other browser. Yeah, I was able to vote in the previous motion.
See, if you, yeah, you registered on that.
Yeah.
Well, that is something that we cannot fix, I think. But we cannot close and then reopen the vote.
No. Can you try with another device? I don't know if you already did it, but apart from changing the browser, perhaps another device?
Okay, I'll try.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in the meantime, while we wait for this EB, this is the final thing, and we're going to be closing the plenary. Do we immediately go to presidents? There were some questions asked about this.
Yes, we would. IFMCP would rather go directly to the president session to make sure we're not back on schedule. But if animals want a break, we can also have a short break.
Okay, it worked for Mr. Ukraine. We're closing the
Great.
vote.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have 68 votes, and the results are the following. We have 60 votes in favor, 2 votes against, and 2 abstentions.
Okay, this passes by simple majority. And in this case, the EB, please open the call today, March 7th. Adjust all the documents required. If you need support in doing that quickly, let us know, but you need to do that today. And the call is going to be ending on the 15th of March. Okay, so for president sessions, this is done. This is it with the regular motions. We will not be opening a speakers list unless it is specifically on this topic. Associate Tunisia, you raise your hand.
Yes, thank you. Actually, we have sent a statement to the plenary team a few minutes ago. We would like to read it now, if possible.
Okay, you can read your statement. Okay, I'm gonna open the speakers list because technically it is a plenary. So Associate Tunisia is gonna be the first one. If anyone else wants to speak, please raise your hands, but that will be all. You can go.
Thank you. Dear IFMSA family, we are sending this statement on behalf of Association Tunisia, AMSA Austria, and Portugal, Season Italy, then Brazil, AX Catalonia, IFMSA Czech Republic, and SWIMSA Switzerland. We understand and defend the meaning of health beyond biomedical one. So taking care of mental health is essential for the health of our federation, our animals, and us particularly as human beings. Consequently, IFMSA, through its different standing committees, has and will pledge to continue to raise mental health awareness among medical students, healthcare professionals, and the general population. Nevertheless, we need to highlight the mental health issues inside the IFMSA. As animals, we felt the need to point out our concerns about the TO mental health as leaders of the Federation. First of all, we would like to address our gratitude to Nyambura, Yeva, and towards each and every one of you for the time and efforts invested in IFMSA. However, having to resignation from the TO members alarmed us about a possible mental health issue within the IFMSA. We do acknowledge that this may be motivated by personal reasons, but we strongly believe that this issue should be tackled differently and should be prioritized in order to identify the main causes, behaviors behind it. We would also like to emphasize the importance of establishing clear and efficient process to ensure the safety of TO members' mental health as a unity, but also as individuals. We upload the focus of that this term's EB and all the candidates during their presentation and during today's debate have put on mental health and improving the support structure within our federation. However, the path is far from over and there is still much to be done. We would like the EB to reform the task force on mental health within IFMSA with a focus on the mental health support system in place and the possibility of an effective mental health watch within the EBTO, as well as suggested regarding the sustainability of these processes that NMOs and IFMSA does not continue to suffer from the consequence of these situations. With this being said, we urge everyone, including TO members, SUBCO members, NMOs, and IFMSA alumni to create a suitable option to move forward with this issue. With the development of a new IFMSA strategy 2021-2024 starting now, we find this a crucial opportunity to finally prioritize the mental health of all members of IFMSA that should not be wasted. As a conclusion, we are committed to empower each and every person, especially regarding mental health challenges, and provide help to each individual. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the statement. And as alumnus, I also applaud the efforts of everyone to look into supporting the officials. Okay, so this is done. We're done with the plenary right now, unless IFMSA President, you also have a statement?
A very quick and short reply to what Associate Ahmed Tunisia has expressed. We understand that this task is important and the EB, of course, prioritized it for many times in the past. This statement is on my own behalf because it was not go to the EB, but I think we have the consensus that the mental health is important and it is not just on the EB. It is also on the TO members. It is also on the animals that we need to create this space together. We would love to invite sincerely that the animals keep being engaged in this topic, either on a TF that could be established or whatever mechanism that can be throughout. The support from the animals should not only be limited in the GA or on the animal server, and that would be greatly appreciated by the EB members for this term and also for the future, that we create the culture together. That concludes my statement, and I also want to thank all the current TO members, specifically on this point. It's very hard, and we are all human. So thank you all for staying, and thank you for your amazing work. Sometimes it's not well praised, but I take this opportunity to praise you again. Thank you, Nebosha, for this opportunity.
Thank you, IFMSA President, and also record that in the minutes as IFMSA President, if it was not clear. Okay, so we are done with statements. We've dealt with a very important topic. And well, please inform members of this opportunity as well, as you decided to have such a brief call, basically, for 8 days compared to what is normally there. And we conclude the plenary. There are no procedural motions or anything of sorts. And IFMSA EB, let us know, please. Are we going to the president sessions right away, or we have a specific break, and when do we start?
IFMSA VPM. Regarding the president sessions, it is of essence that we immediately proceed to the president session. So that's what we will do. So by maybe 25 past, it would be nice that we are settled in the room.
You heard Alistair speak. So we're concluding the plenary, we're closing the call now, and yep, see you in the other call.